Geeks and Gamers, this is Michael, and this is WWF Attitude. I'm going to do it on The Rock, but first, the reason why instead of being in the garage, I decided to be outside on a lovely, nice day here, and rather than be cooped up, I just figured out here I can do whatever I want to, I guess. Long story short, the playoffs are happening, and let's just keep this train rolling. So, come on, Kansas City. Also, let's get to it, The Rock. Well, the guy basically started as a pro wrestler, and now look at him. He's one of the biggest names in Hollywood, Actor, producer, star of his own TV show on HBO. The guy's basically the #1 star on Forbes. He even beat Robert Downey Jr., and Robert Downey Jr. makes bank for playing Iron Man just for one movie. The Rock did 5 movies, within the span of a year, so you can't hate him for that. Also, yeah, I know it probably just seems, we get that guff about, he doesn't care about pro wrestling no more. No, he does, trust me, because if he didn't, he would have walked away and never came back. But he still loves pro wrestling, and that's why he'll be back again this year at WrestleMania. My advice, just let him fight Triple H, and let Triple H just take one for the team and stop burying other wrestlers. You already buried Sting, you jerk. Just shut up and let The Rock beat you fair and square. The end. With that being said, here's The Rock. He came in Survivor Series of 1996. Hey, it's been almost 20 years. And he was just known as Rocky Maivia, the first ever third-generation WWF superstar. And the son of Rocky Johnson and the grandson of the High Chief Peter Maivia. He came in as the Blue Chipper, as JR would said. He came in and, basically did everything he could. Just fantastic, great athleticism, great speed. The guy can do everything. To where in early '97 he beat Triple H to become the Intercontinental Champion, and then he would defend that title against a guy known as the Sultan, who basically was actually Rikishi, but he wasn't Rikishi then. He was just the Sultan. So he beat him at WrestleMania, but then all of a sudden, going more into the year 1997, people were they didn't care for him. They just booed him. And then that's when the chants Rocky suck and Rocky die came on, and now you can't do that nowadays, but I thought Rocky die was a bit extreme. Rocky sucks actually became more of a catchphrase, and every day he'd say, hey, I don't suck. Problem was, he realized maybe if I became a heel, then I can get along with it, and then maybe I could see what happens. After losing the Intercontinental Championship, I forget how, and fast forward all the way to lower, he decided to join the Nation of Domination by basically becoming members with Farouk, The Godfather, D'Lo Brown, and Mark Henry returned later, but ultimately he would join that group. And of course he would butt heads with Farouk, who would be in charge of the Nation, the young upstart or the guy who started the group. Also, he would fight Steve Austin for the championship every now and then. Steve Austin would, basically beat him and the Nation on D-Generation X in December of 1997. However, due to his injury, Austin was forced to give up the title. Fast forward to 98. The Rock being the champion and, basically just coming out of the ring, and without even saying anything, the chants, Rocky sucks, and of course him with the belt, no, you love The Rock. Sorry. And, he basically just said the hell with it and became the heel. The guy everybody loved to hate. And that was his gimmick. I'll be the guy you love to hate. And I'll be extremely cocky and arrogant. And of course the whole, no, everyone shut your mouth. That happened. So, fast forward to 1998, which I thought was one of his best years. After feuding with Ken Shamrock and cheating to win his title, he ended up feuding with Triple H. And that became one of the biggest feuds of 98 between D-Generation X and the Nation, The Rock and Triple H. Which one would fight? These two would go back and forth, ultimately accumulating to a ladder match at SummerSlam between Rock, Triple H for the Rock's Intercontinental Championship. This is one of the best matches they ever had. These guys let it all on the line, and when it was all said and done, Triple H was victorious. To me, that was one of the best ladder matches of all time, one of his best matches. Fast forward to the month afterward, when he would win a triple threat match between the Mick Foley and Shamrock to become the #1 contender. However, thanks to the events at Bad Blood, we had the Deadly Games motif where everybody would fight, similar to what we did this year with I can't remember his name. Not when Rollins got injured. Like when Rollins got injured and everybody had to fight for the championship, Rollins and Sheamus. But surprise, surprise, the guy who ends up being in a pocket with the corporation or the authority ends up becoming the champion. So The Rock, basically being in Vince's pocket, became the champion. And for months he would fight Mick Foley for the championship. Rock Bottom pay-per-view, Rock won. 2 weeks later, the beginning of the year, 99, Raw, Foley won. Then, of course, Royal Rumble, Rock won it again. Same thing, Rock wins or Foley wins. And then when it's all said and done, they just said to hell with it. Rock wins, he has a championship, and now he'll fight Steve Austin at WrestleMania 15. Fast forward, Austin, with everything going around, Austin ends up beating The Rock. However, The Rock wouldn't give up so easily, so he would battle Steve Austin for the championship, lose, and then of course he would have to fight Triple H, and this is when Triple H is finally getting his rise. He would become the game, and The Rock would basically lose. I wouldn't say 99 was the best year for The Rock. Basically, he had his coming and goings, but when Steve Austin was injured with a neck injury, The Rock knew it was his time to shine, and boy did he. I'm in Sacramento right now, and I can tell you, 15 blocks away was York Arena. House show, Thanksgiving weekend, 99. The Rock was the new main star because Austin was injured, so it became all on The Rock. I swear to God, that man owned the building that night. You couldn't make this stuff up. Him and Triple H had their match. It wasn't the main event. They did their match in the middle before the break. The Rock wins. He's about to leave, and you think, oh, he's gone. No, he comes right back into that ring, and not only does he say his catchphrases, poses, goes out of the ring, comes back into the ring, and basically does his whole thing with the whole, the poon, I can't say it, but, the tea-tang pie, the whole everything comes right back inside the ring, and he's like, you thought I was just done yet? No, I'm just getting started. And was just basically sweet-talk everybody in Sacramento. And then he did his SmackDown hotel routine, and then finally the whole, you know what I'm talking about, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. And then finally left. I swear to God, he owned that building that night. I loved him, and I was the biggest Steve Austin mark in the world, and he won me over. The guy was amazing. Fast forward to the following year. He wins the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be him and Triple H once again. Back and forth, until WrestleMania. Well, you thought he was going to win? No, they were going to keep that belt on Hunter. But he did give us all a nice consolation prize. He basically gave Stephanie a rock bottom. That'll teach her. And then, of course, he finally won a month later at Backlash thanks to Steve Austin. And then 2000 was The Rock's year. I mean, SmackDown was all his show. I mean, he was everywhere. The TV shows, the political. He was at the Democratic debate with China. He was on the Tonight Show talking about the politics. I don't know if it's true or not, but the techno rock band Apollo 440 did a song called Can't Stop the Rock, and they used it for him in promos, even though I don't know if somebody said, hey, someone told me that the song is based off. I was like, I don't know if it's true or not, but it is a catchy song, and I think it's perfect for him because in 2000, you just cannot stop the Rock. He was lifting off. Beautiful. And then, of course, he lost his title to Kurt Angle in October. And then finally, the run-of-the-mill thing, I'm going to fight Angle all the way to WrestleMania, and then I'm going to fight Austin. We get to 2001. He ends up fighting Austin. However, he loses at WrestleMania because Austin was now in Vince's pocket instead of The Rock. And then he left. But he didn't just say, I'm done with he didn't say, I'm done with the WWF. He wanted to film his own spin-off movie, The Scorpion King, which is based off his small role in The Mummy Returns, where he left for a week to film. I'm not even going to talk about that god-awful CGI rock lobster creature. Ugh. But The Rock was just knew Hollywood was going to knock on his door, and he decided to come a-calling. And with movies like Walking Tall, The Rundown, this movie, and while you're still wrestling, oh yeah, and also Be Cool. While you're still wrestling, he just realized that maybe it was time to take a break from wrestling, and so that's when his contract expired in 2005, and he decided just to start doing movies from now on. When he did the game plan, he actually dropped 40 pounds, and he looked slimmer, meaner, and he was just fantastic. he did some kid movies. You know, I'm not going to knock him for doing that. You know, whatever pays the bills. But, you know, you can't deny him that the guy was just had that success story just perfectly. Just, he can do it. And then finally, when it was all said and done, he decided it was time to come home. And on Valentine's Day 2011, he finally came home. And I swear to God, Anaheim just marked out for the guy, because it was like, who's going to host WrestleMania? Is it going to be Steve Austin? Is it going to be Justin Bieber? Is it going to be Russell Brand? Is it going to be any of these guys? No. The lights come down, the electricity comes out, and the next thing you know, it's just this. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, he comes out and he just owned the building. Everyone's like, you know, just going nuts for him. I haven't seen people mark out that bad since Amy Rose Eisenbach came back in September for Movie Talk. So it was just crazy. He just owned the building. And he came back, he said, I'm here to host WrestleMania, but I also got a beef with a man named John Cena. How do we go from suck it to oh hell yeah to do you smell what The Rock is kicking to you? You can't see me. Sorry. And ultimately, basically, would set up his fight for Rock versus Cena for WrestleMania 2012. Fast forward a whole year of Twitter beefing and bull. So I know swearing on here. He beat Cena. Just whooped him right then and there in Miami. Like he would lose in his own hometown. And then, of course, fast forward a year later, it'd be Rock versus Cena 2 in Jersey, but Cena would be victorious. All said and done, The Rock is still doing movies, whether it's G.I. Joe, Fast and Furious, or as I call it, Rápidos y Furiosos in Spanish, or just still making other projects we haven't seen yet. The Rock is truly the great one, and I am happy that he will be back this year for WrestleMania. So, thank you, Geeks and Gamers, once again, and I hope everything goes out okay, and go Broncos, and finally, I hope you smelled what The Rock was cooking.